Imaginary problems. Understand that 99% of your problems in life is honestly a reflection of you, and so is your reality. So before you project an image of insecurity and lack of responsibility into the universe, thus creating a problem, you should probably understand that if you take 100% accountability and responsibility for yourself, then you wouldn't have a fucking problem. So instead of projecting that into the universe, understand that your life really 100% is a reflection of you. So instead of blaming your parents, instead of blaming some random fucker on earth, blame yourself and then watch how you can respond with ability. If you put the power in someone else's hand, thus pointing your finger at them as if it's their problem, the only thing you're doing is retracting yourself and exhibiting an act of insecurity and inferiority to yourself by rendering yourself a bitch for not being able to respond accordingly and with ability, proficiency to your own problems. So instead of getting someone else to solve your problems, you should begin solving your own. Because you have to understand that if you're gonna bite the hand that feeds you, then honestly, you don't deserve to get fed. So that's to all the ungrateful children in America. Because I got eyes and I can see, and a lot of y'all are really just, y'all are ungrateful. But that's not the point of the video. Remember that imagination can either be the biggest key asset in it can really, the difference that it creates in your reality. If you have to understand that a belief system, the definition of the word belief is something to be believed as true. So that means you can believe into something that is not true and believe it's true. So if you believe that someone said this, or if you believe that someone wants you to feel, but in reality, you don't fucking know, and you're just assuming that, being presumptuous in your assumption of, then you have to understand that your belief system is working against you. So instead of having a belief system working against you, you should understand that if you can 100% just hold tight onto being on your side the entire time, if you can put your mind into a place where it's always on your side, then you won't be dealing with the problems you create yourself. The only problems you'll be dealing with are the ones in reality. But if you're 100% in reality, thus not in your head, contemplating everything that is not even in factuality, reality, and you can't even do anything about it because it's just rudimentary cadences in your own brain, then also understand that every time you feed those negative thoughts, you're literally amplifying it in your existence. So your brain neurologically forms to your thoughts, because you have to understand your brain is just a transmitter sequencer for the mind. So your thoughts, every time you feed that negative belief system, you are literally forming neurological pathways, and your brains are resonating with a belief system that works against you. So when we look at individuals that are all fucked up, yeah, it's because they fucked themselves up by not believing in the right shit, or at least corresponding to the highest, best interest for themselves. We live in a world where people don't respond with responsibility to their best interest. So you have to understand that there's levels to life, and if you are always responding on a low level, then render yourself inferior, and not in an authoritative way, but literally in conduit. How do you conduct yourself? Like a conduct, like when you plug an outlet into the wall and you conduct energy. What the fuck are you conducing and inducing into your consciousness and embedding into your soul to literally go out into the world and conquest on your mission to become the most successful individual on planet Earth? I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna die another wagey, slavey, brokey. Nah. And you have to understand that before we even look at money, let's look at your fucking 24 hours, because time is money. Literally, you transmute time into money. So if you're paying with time and you're receiving money, then you're really just existentially poor. So you should probably invest into yourself so you can save more time. And then when you have a lot of time, that's when you develop your reality to emanate what the fuck you are, which is value. And what the fuck is money in essence? Just value. It's called a value exchange. So everything is a value exchange. If you're not exchanging value for money, but you're exchanging time for money, yeah, you're universally poor on a quantum physical level. So before we look at the external world, let's look at your internal world, and let's see how long you fucking have on earth if we put your job in the roadway of the highway of your life. So you have to understand that time and energy is non-refundable. So you can always have the ability to develop yourself to the level to correspond to a higher reality and modulate yourself in a different paradigm. That's paradigm shifting. That's a whole different fucking video. I'm off topic, back on topic. If you have a problem in your life and the problem isn't actually affecting you to respawn, thus you are tempting yourself into respawning into a negative state of mind and into quantum disincoherency. So you are disintegrating and disorganizing your own mind, cascading through temptation into the abyss and sanctuary of absolute failure and nihilism, because you couldn't respond with ability to just not make the wrong choice. So again, life is really just a sequencing of choices. So every time you make a choice, it's a ripple effect in the universe, and that ripple effect is what the fuck you're gonna be dealing with in the future. So you should probably make the right choice to not have to deal with some bullshit and just ignore your problem, because you not wanting to ignore your problem is just a reflection on how fucking insecure you are. Because if you weren't insecure, you would just look at the problem, not give a fuck, understand that not giving a fuck thus eradicates the problem, unless it's something you need to actively go out into the world or go into yourself to ensure that you can evade and conquer and destroy, eradicate all sense of inferiority and weakness in your mind. Because you have to understand that we live in a universe where it's all mental. So back in the day, the slaves, they had to do physical work. You would capture them. Now we have mental slavery, and our people, or well, the people of the earth, are working as slaves. They are slaves on earth, but it's mental slavery. So when they're miserable and they're actually angry as fuck and they're projecting this low emanation of consciousness, this animalistic, hedonistic self-deprivation that they inflict into themselves and embed it into their soul to ensure they always remain the same low-level piece of shit. Yeah, that is because they are literally being deprived mentally. So you need to pull out of that. You need to look at yourself, see what you can develop in yourself to make sure you correspond to a higher frequency. And that higher frequency is going to slowly but surely lead you to a path where you are free from mental slavery. It's absolutely insane. The journey it takes time, but the more you develop, the more your consciousness compounds, and the more you gain interest in yourself, the more skills you accumulate, the more valuable you become, and the more value you accrue in the motion of existence, aka life, then that's the more value you can exchange, and what you're exchanging is money. So if you want to get rich, then go learn some skills to make you a useful individual, because we live in a reality where everyone is worth less and useless. So that's the truth, because if you weren't useless, you would actually be the CEO, big problem solver, entrepreneur. But remember that you always had the choice to change your life, and every problem that you emanate into existence is just a reflection of your own self, your own mind, and your own ubiquitous life, your own paradigm, the path you walk. So, make sure you're walking the right path. Make sure you're sober. Make sure you're fit. Make sure you ain't watching porn. And make sure you're locked in on your life instead of taking it for spite. A lot of people disregard the value of who they are because they never actually was revealed that through pain and suffering. They never had to actually hold their own back. They always had someone else do it. So that's why they're very dependable, insufferable. But we can't be those. We're always locked in the highest of degrees of excellence, extraordinary, outstanding individuals. We don't cascade into the abyss of inevitable failure. We constantly and quantumly understand that we are the highest of the human echelon of existence. So we must correspond to that with our conduit. And that starts by developing yourself in ways you never had before. That is how you get out your comfort zone. That's how you expand consciously. So get on the self-development program. Get your mind right. Get your soul right. And don't waste your life. Don't waste your life on some stupid shit. Don't waste your life on problems. Time and energy is non-refundable. And if you're wasting your time on some dumb shit, it's because you're the reflection of, and you're just a dumb bitch. Peace.